Hey guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. Today is a very important day and exciting day, and a very lovely day too, because we have a rocket launch, and that rocket launch is supposed to create artificial auroras into the sky. And uh, I don't know about you, but this is a dream for me to just go to the the northern pole or the south pole and see these auroras with my own eyes. And yeah, so if you are getting this opportunity to see some artificial aurora, just don't miss it. Okay, so hi everyone. Hi, Louis Smith. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Robert. Hi, Rocketry 101. Hi, Rajesh Singh. Hi, Nicole. And hi, Elite LX. So, uh, a quick update right now. First of all, this rocket launch had two scrubs already, and that too because of the weather only. And now we are here again today to see the rocket launch, but weather today is good, but it is right now, it is better than yesterday, but still it is 60% go for launch. I mean, we are go for launch right now, but the favorable conditions are 60%. So that is the thing which we need to be looking at. Okay, so we shall be looking at the rocket itself. First of all, what do we have in store as in the rocket? What is the rocket all about? And yeah, we'll have the description and discussion on it. So this is the rocket which you can see here. Although this image is a bit I must say wrong, but this is the high definition image which I was able to get. There is no other high definition image right now for the Black Brant 12 rocket. This is a Black Brant 12 rocket. Today the rocket which will be launching is a Black Brant 12A, and the difference between these two is nothing but this orange stage. This orange stage for a Black Brant 12 is a Taurus motor. Means the name is the Taurus motor, as they say, and for the 12A it is a Terrier motor. That's it. That's the only difference. So this is the fourth stage rocket which we can see here. This is the first stage, Tellus motor. This is the second stage which is known as Terrier, and it has Terrier motor. Then we have this long third stage which is Black Brant 5C. It consists of Black Brant 5C motor, and then finally the fourth stage which is this one. It is a Nika motor. Okay, so this is all about that. And now the family of the sounding rocket launch vehicles which NASA has. So right now you can see how this progresses, and it comes from the generation of Orion to the now the Black Brant 12 rocket. And this you can see here, the Black Brant 12 rocket is the heaviest sounding rocket which they currently have. And speaking about the the payload capacities and all, we'll have a look at that also. But before that, we need to understand some, how this thing works, how the sounding rocket works, and what is the difference between the orbital rockets and the sounding rockets. So this is the most detailed, the picture which I could find about these rockets. So you can see here, this is first of all, this is the first stage here. And this first stage, if you notice carefully, if I can just zoom in, yeah, this first stage, actually you can see the how these fins are designed here. I mean, we all know that these fins are actually there to provide stability to the rocket during the ascent, but see how these fins are designed. It's not a simple fin in which you just cut out a section of a metal, thick section of a metal, and then place. This is a diamond shaped cutout of a the fin, and the term is known as, the technical term as they say, is cruciform. And the reason why it is like this is simply because they want the some stability in the roll control also. So if you remember the last time, the yesterday, I mentioned that this rocket is spin stabilized. It has these spin motors which we can see here. It has spin motors here. So this spin motors actually, tend to spin this rocket. Obviously, these are the motors which are actually firing up in a constant rate and tend to spin up the rocket. So, and why do they spin up the rocket? So that it can be spin stabilized. And what do I mean by spin stabilized? How how can the stability be achieved by spinning something? The analogy which I would like to give for this is the top, the spinning top, that top which we all used to play as when we were children. So what happens if you just put the top on its bottom thing there? It will just fall in any direction, right? But if you give it a spin and then let it stay there, will it fall? No, right? That's the magic of rotational motion or the spinnings, because since that top is spinning, it is not falling at all. So that phenomena which you have experienced already, when the something is spinning or rotating, it tends to stabilize itself. That's what we call spin stabilize, and that's what we have here. So we have this motors here. You can see here we have the motor, this here we have the motors. So since these spin motors actually tend to spin the rocket so that it can be stabilized during the ascent. Okay, that's good. But what about the shape of the fins? So as I mentioned, this shape of the fins ensure that they have a control in the roll also, because these type of fins configuration, this design of this fin ensure that if there is some issue with the spin control, if there is some issue in which it is the first stage is supposed to rotate as one rotation per second, and if there is some issue with that, if it is moving at a higher rotational speed or a lower rotational speed, this thing can account for, this design can account for that. I mean, this design, simply just remember this thing, this design is used to stabilize the spinning of the rocket, and normal fins are used to stabilize the ascent of the rocket. So rocket design is hard, I must say. People say that the rocket science is very hard, and we tend to just give out this example whenever we want to quote something which is very difficult. We say it is not a rocket science, or when it is something easy and a person is not able to do it, we say it is not a rocket science, you can do it easily. But in my opinion, rocket science is easy, rocket engineering is hard, and that's what we are seeing here. This is the rocket engineering. So yeah, enough about these concept here. But yeah, this is the first stage, which has this configuration of the fins, the cruciform, and the same thing we can see here on the second stage also. The third stage does not have that, because it does not even have a spin motor, I suppose. Because it does not need one, it is high up in the atmosphere, and those fins are more than enough to stabilize it. So see the first stage, and all of these stages are actually runs on solid fuel. All these stages are solid rocket fuel, runs on solid rocket fuel, and the fuel which it uses for solid motors are the HTPB fuel. Is the HTPB fuel, which is an industry standard fuel. So that is the case here. Okay, pumped, been waiting until the Saturday, Matthew says. Okay, we'll have a look at everything, Matthew, don't worry. I was just right now telling you facts about this rocket itself. So yeah, that is the case here. The Teles motor, the Terrier motor here, this also has the spin motors, then the Black Brant 5C, and this the Nika motor. So the total payload capacity for this rocket is actually it has a range of the payload capacity around 110 to 410 kilograms. And why does it have a range? Because the more you increase the mass of the payload, the less you will get the altitude. So the maximum altitude this rocket can achieve is around 1500 kilometers, the apogee, as they say. The technical term is apogee. The maximum altitude, or the maximum point at which the rocket can go, is known as apogee. So the apogee which it can achieve is 1500 kilometers. That is the capability, but it solely depends on the mass of the payload. So for today, it is going at around 400 to 500 kilometers of apogee. So yep, the payload is a bit on the heavier side, but yeah, it does its job, so no worries on that. Enough about the rocket. Now we can have a look at the flight profile, how the things will look like. So this is a sounding rocket. It will just go straight up and then come down. Okay, the trajectory just signifies that here. And this is not an orbital class rocket in which you will first to go straight up, as they say, and then at this point you go, then obviously gravity turn happens a bit earlier in the flight. But for easy explanation of the things, for the orbital class, the difference between the sounding and the orbital class rocket is that only, that the sounding rocket just goes straight up and then come down. But the orbital class rocket, which sends the payloads into the orbit, what it does is it has two stages. One stage is tend to push it up into the sky. The second stage is actually fires up its engine at this point, and that too in horizontal direction, so as to achieve the orbit. So during for this profile, for this rocket, for this mission, what will happen? The rocket will go up, it will fire up one of its canisters. So for the payload, it is carrying two canisters of something. What it is, that what actually is the contents of the canister, I'll tell you about that. But yeah, it is carrying two canisters. It will fire one of those canisters here at around 400 kilometers at altitude during the ascent, and then it will coast to the apogee, and then again it will come back down at around same altitude, and then again fire up the other canister. So this is how the thing will look like, and it will obviously create some auroras and the tracers also. The difference between aurora and tracers we'll see. Okay, so yeah, we can now have a look at how the auroras are created. It's basically the first stages of the two surface to air missiles, Winchester says. You kind of, yeah, you are right. We'll see. Those of you are wondering whether we'll be able to see it, from your location. I'll have that cover for you. So just wait a sec. So right now we must know how these auroras are formed here. So this is a diagram. I'll try to simplify it. So there is one phenomena called as this coronal mass ejection. And during this coronal mass ejection for the sun, what it does is it actually ejects some of its plasma, which it is carrying, which is nothing but the charged helium and hydrogen atoms. So these solar flares, or as they say, tend to then hit up the magnetic field of the earth. Now since these are the charged particles, these interact with the magnetic field of the earth, and most of the charged particles are deflected because of this magnetic shield, as they say here. Okay, but some of the charged particles, what they do is they go with the along the field lines, along the magnetic field lines. And as we know that the earth's magnetic field comes from the southern pole, goes from the southern pole to the north pole. So this is, we have the this rings also that signifies that. So what happens, some of the charged particles coming out from the sun are trapped on the field lines. They travel along it, and then they are trapped on these in the the polar region, as they say. So when they are trapped in the polar region, because they travel along the field lines, they interact with the particles present there. And in the earth's ionosphere, there are neutral particles such as oxygen and nitrogen, and when they interact with in the presence of sunlight, they tend to glow. They tend to emit electrons in the visible spectrum, if you want to go in a technical details. And that's how auroras are formed, and that's how you get those beautiful angel hats on the earth, as you can see here. Okay, and this is what we get to see. I mean, yeah, this is what we get to see once everything is everything has happened. So these beautiful greenish lights and all those things, we get to see these kind of things. Okay, cool. Now I have told you about the this Aurora formation, I have this very amazing video which actually tells us how you know we can visualize all the things which are happening. So we have, let me just see if we can play it. Yeah, here you go. Shout out to the University of Leicester, if I pronounced it correctly, to have this video. They have actually explained it very well how these things work. So let me explain the setup here. First of all, you can see here, this is supposed to be a sun here, which is emitting plasma particles, and this is supposed to be Earth, and this Earth is actually having the stronger magnetic field in it. You just listen in and you will understand what is happening here.
Experiment. So what we have here is a vacuum chamber and a vacuum pump, which is a bit like a Hoover at home, and the vacuum pump sucks out most of the air out of the chamber. Not all of the air, but most of it. So it's recreating the conditions about 100 kilometers altitude where we see the aurora. Now inside this vacuum chamber you've got a big ball here that represents the sun, and a small ball over there that represents the Earth. And within this small ball we have this really strong magnet recreating the Earth's magnetic field. The next thing we do is we put a voltage from the sun to the Earth, and so we're drawing electrons from the sun towards the Earth. Now this recreates the solar wind of charged particles that is always flowing away from our sun and into interplanetary space. Now when these solar wind, or when these charged particles come towards the Earth, they get trapped onto the Earth's magnetic field lines and they get funneled into the northern and the southern polar regions. And when they get to the northern and southern polar regions, they collide with the gases that are there. And what they do, they excite these gases and they actually give energy to the electrons within them. When these electrons relax, they give out light at the characteristic frequencies, thus creating the aurora. That's basically how the aurora is created on Earth, and similar to how the aurora is created on all planets that have a magnetic field.
Exactly. So guys, this was a very awesome video which I actually found, and you must have now understood actually what happened here. To summarize again, this is supposed to be the sun, and this is supposed to be our Earth. So they have simulated the thing, this small sphere which is supposed to be an Earth. They have this strong electromagnet here which simulates the Earth's magnetic field, and then this is a bigger, obviously the sun, the bigger sphere is the sun, which simulates the mass ejection, the coronal mass ejection. How does it simulating it? They have with this very high voltage on this sphere which goes from this big sphere to the small sphere, and so they have this simulation of the plasma particles. Now as she mentioned, this jar is not completely vacuum. This is supposed to be simulating the ionosphere of the Earth. That is also not completely in a vacuum state. There are some gases there. So here also there is some oxygen and nitrogen gases here. So when these voltages come contact with this magnetic field, they tend to get trapped in the polar region here, which we can see in this here in this thing. And I think they have actually gone with the tilt of the Earth, and that's why we can see the aurora formation in a bit this side, the right side. Obviously this tube is interfering the formation here, but yeah, that is the case. So these oxygen or new nitrogen molecules get excited and we have this aurora formation. And thank you so much. Okay, sorry, just a sec. Thank you so much, Matthew. Good job. This is a real cool coverage. How is this visible during full daylight in the Florida? Is closer to the launch better than the better view or the further? I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you. Don't worry about it. And first of all, I just want you all to know what is actually happening here, and that's why I'm doing this thing here. So that is the case. So today this is the aurora formation and all those things we got to know. Now we can have a look what actually the experiment is all about. So the canister which I previously described is carrying this on its in its content, this barium. This is what we have, what is actually responsible for the formation of auroras. this is nothing but the electronic configuration of barium. Don't worry, don't get scared from this. I'll explain you in a very easy way. So we can see here, this is the barium atom and the nucleus, and these are the shells in which many electrons reside. Okay, so the outermost shell has only 2 electrons, and these are loosely held. Why are they loosely held? Simply because these electrons are very far away from the nucleus. Okay, now also notice that they don't have any other electrons in its vicinity to, or you can say buddies, to prevent or you protect their mates if there is an attack from the outside. This is something which chemistry has there is some chemistry term associated with it, but I'm explaining it in a very layman terms. So yeah, we don't have many electrons here, so no protection at all from the outside forces. So when the sunlight actually hits this atom, what happens? These 2 electrons, they no protection, loosely held, they just leave this barium atom, and this barium atom actually becomes Ba2 plus. Now we have actually created a ionized particles, and this ionization of the particle is necessary because the plasma coming up from the sun are the contains plasma ionized particles only. So here, by doing this, we have actually created an ionized particle. So but the problem is the phenomena which I just told you about, this thing, the barium and the barium 2 plus formation, that happens with the when we have an atom. But the barium actually exists in this form, as a metal. This is a barium metal. And now how can you separate the barium atoms from it and then ionize it? First of all, you need to separate the atoms and then ionize it. So now actually the work of the canister comes in, and the contents of the canister comes in, and that is this is the thing which actually are the contents of the canister. We have the barium in solid form, then the copper oxide in the solid form, and then they have this thermite reaction going on in the canisters, which actually heat up the canister at around 2500 kelvins or so. And at that temperature, what happens? This reaction occurs and we get copper as a liquid form, barium oxide as in liquid form, and the barium metal also as in liquid form. But since those are in those are not in solid form, those are in liquid form, they are very loosely held, obviously. And in the presence of sunlight, obviously it is at the present in the ionosphere, so sunlight is also there. In the presence of sunlight, this barium in the liquid form actually vaporizes to form gases, and once it is gaseous, in gaseous form, we can actually do the ionization, and everything goes as per the plan. So when it ionizes, what we get as the result is this is what we are actually looking in for. This Auroras formation, the reddish blue or the greenish violet, and then these tracers. So these tracers are nothing but the liquid particles of this thing, which actually didn't vaporize. Copper as a liquid and barium oxide as a liquid, they tend to follow this rocket trajectory only because they are in liquid form, and then they slowly vaporize and forms this beautiful contrails. Another example of beautiful auroras formation is this is also a real picture, not edited, and yeah, somewhat similar to this we can expect to see today. Okay, now the most interesting part, where to see, how to see, and all those things. So here we have it, the map. Here we have the map, guys. You can see, you can visualize here how the things will go at 0 to 10 seconds in the Washington area. Mostly you will be able to see 0 to 10 seconds after liftoff, you'll be able to see the rocket. 10 to 30 in this blue region, 30 to 60 in this pink, 60 to 90 in yellow, and 90 to 120 in this blue again. But I know you want some more help. This is a very, most of you have figured out, but still, of those of you haven't figured out, I have actually overlaid the states here, and here you can see the actual viewing area or visibility from your state. So if you live in around, like if you live in Pennsylvania, you have to be looking at in southwest direction, because the rocket will fly from here in this direction. Okay, so you must be looking at around 60 seconds, 30 seconds after the liftoff in this direction, the southwest. And if you talk about Maine, if you live in Maine, then you need to look at around look in southwest direction. Okay, so this is southeast, sorry, yeah, southeast. If you live in what did I say, what did I say? I forgot. Okay, if you live in Maine, you need to look at around in the southwest direction. If you live in Florida, you need to look in north east direction, and yeah, so on and so forth. So this is the map here, which you can see. Now we can have a look at the chat. What is going on in the chat? How far along the flight path the horizontal vector will the first canister be deployed, or is it the basically straight up and back down? See, the thing with the horizontal is that the total trajectory will be around 500 to 600 kilometer downrange. So this is the total distance it will cover after going to the coasting to the apogee and then coming back down and crashing into the sea. So that is the case here, but what we know is that one canister is fired during the ascent, and another is fired during the descent at around same altitude. Yeah, that's what we know right now. So when do we see a rocket on a pad? We'll see a rocket. And I think today, guys, there is some problem with the YouTube. I don't know what is the problem here. I think YouTube has shadow banned us this stream, because I can see there are not a lot of viewers happening here. So if you can do a little bit of favor here, I mean, if you can just share this stream with your friends and have a look at tell them to witness this epic phenomena which you are about to witness, so it would be a great help. I don't know what is happening here. So yeah, now we can see if we have a live stream, and we'll switch over to that. Yeah, we do have a live coverage. But the thing is, we only have the rocket, just the stagnant rocket. We don't have the webcast right now, but yeah. And talking about the weather, okay, we must be looking at the weather also. How's the weather today, right? So this is the weather today. Weather is looking good today, because you can see the winds are at around only 6 miles per hour, which is very light. And we have clear to partly cloudy weather today. And I have seen, and I have seen the trends which are supposed to happen. As the time progresses, the weather is supposed to clear. So fingers crossed, we are 60% in favorable weather conditions right now. But the thing is that the ground team members are waiting and looking in for are the optics, the clear sky. Actually, they have to observe the phenomena which as it happens in the sky. They have to see it, and they have to have those optics in the Bermuda, and as well as in those ground other states. I mean, maybe in Wallops also, wherever they have these optics facilities. So yeah, that is the case. They want there also to have a clear sky there. So we'll have to see how this progresses. But right now things are looking good from what we had yesterday. Mm, yes, let's hope this goes well. Please tell us about you a bit. Nemul Hassan says, I'm actually thinking of making a dedicated video about myself, talking about myself, so you can actually have a look at that. You are watching the wrong date. That's for the 9th. Julia Paul says. What do you mean by wrong date? I don't understand. If you mean the viewing area, that is supposed to remain same only, no matter when they launch. So we can have a look at the rocket now. So here we have the looks at the rocket. Thing with it right now is that we don't have the coverage right away, but still the views of the rocket are here, and it is, the things are looking pretty good on the rocket front, and I mean the weather front. The clouds are clearing the sky, and winds are also not there, so the favorable conditions for the launch. Let's see how this goes. Am I watching yesterday's stream? Don't seem to. No, this is not a yesterday stream, Julia Paul. You can see here is written correctly, May 10, 2021. This is today's stream only. M. Gorek says, why did they lower the rocket yesterday after the launch was scrubbed? High winds? No, they were securing the launcher. As they said after the scrub that they are bringing down the launcher. So what they were doing is they were actually making sure that the rocket is first put down in the horizontal configuration, putting down, and then the team can come in and secure it, take away to the vehicle assembly building or whatever they have for this sounding rocket. So that is the thing. This is not what we have. Okay, is this of yesterday? I don't think so, because this is the live coverage from the official website, and we do have the date here, May 10, 2021. So that is the case. And right now everything is looking good. The rocket is on the pad and everything. We are just waiting for its liftoff to happen. Okay, so here guys, we are T minus 34 minutes from the launch, and if you have any other questions regarding today's launch, you can surely ask me, and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. What will it look like from the ground in the outer ring? So Courtney asked, okay, so actually if you are living in the outer region here around the blue or green blue or yellowish region, you will most probably see a bright dot in the sky which is moving upwards. So you will have to look up into the sky. Just go out around T minus 1 minute until the liftoff, and look into the sky from wherever you are staying, and you can figure out where to look at into the sky from this map. And yeah, just stare onto the sky, and hopefully you get to see a bright dot into the sky. Although talking about the aurora formation, and if you are able to view that or not, we'll have to see, because the most prominent and the most significant the viewing conditions for the aurora are from Bermuda. If you live in Bermuda, well and good, you will be able to see the aurora formation very significantly. But otherwise, yes, some part of it you will be able to see. And obviously in the stream, let's hope their optics catch the aurora formation and we can see that. And guys, if you are new to this channel, let me just tell you that on this channel I host live streams of every rocket launch that happens in the space industry, as well as space events. Yesterday, I mean just few hours back, the Osiris Rex mission from the asteroid Bennu has, the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft has departed from the Bennu asteroid, taking the samples, and now it is coming back to the Earth. I was supposed to stream that also, but I had to make a choice whether to stream that or this one, uh, just because I had to. So yeah. I live near the, Aaron says, I live near the upper parts of Pennsylvania, which is in the purple zone. Will I be able to see it with its engine lit? Okay, so if you live in Pennsylvania, yes, you will be able to see the rocket. I'm again saying, the thing with the rocket viewing is that mostly most of the people will actually see a bright dot moving into the sky, and yeah, that is the thing. And if you are living in the Pennsylvania, uh, in what direction you should be looking at? You should be looking at around in the south east direction here, so that you will be able to get some idea of the rocket. Yeah. When should the launch begin? I don't understand at all, Bonku asked. Okay. The launch is scheduled to begin, you mean scheduled to happen at around T minus 31 minutes until T minus 31 minutes. And this rocket launch is a sounding rocket launch. So what will happen? It will just go straight up, have the interaction with the payload, which is nothing but firing up its canisters, the barium canisters, and those barium vapors will do its job, and then the rocket will come down. That's it. So we have around 30 minutes until this thing fires up. Although they are, looking, making a close look at the weather. So we'll have to see that. Also, guys, if you are liking this stream, if you are loving the stream, the information which I'm providing, maybe you can give this stream a thumbs up. And if you want to support the channel, you can always become a Patreon. Link is down in the description. You will have the exclusive perks for the Patreons. You will get the KSP craft files if any one of you plays KSP, and other perks are also there. And yeah, super chat is also enabled for supporting, so that is the thing. How many degrees over the horizon will this appear? The highest point. Okay, so it's not degree actually, J988 channel. It's what we called apogee. And the apogee for today's launch is around 400 to 500 kilometers from the Earth. That's the altitude which it's supposed to appear. So the sky is clear. Where will the rocket land? The rocket will most probably land into the ocean only. Yes, Scott, I almost stream every launch at the the SN8 to SN15. I have streamed all of the launches. The only stream the only launch which I didn't stream was the SN15 basically, and I till date regretted, because I thought when the Raptor van came, um, when the pad was cleared, and again after that the Raptor van came with all its tools and all, I thought today the launch will be scrubbed, but it actually happened and made history, the first prototype to successfully land and recover. So yeah, I stream all those launches too. I am 30 seconds behind. I don't think so, Scott Bogfoot. I have actually, taken into account the actual, what do you say, the YouTube stream delay. So that's why the clock which you are seeing above there is a bit late, because I have taken the delay into the account. Megan says, do you think they will go through with this launch? I hope so. The weather is very good. The sky is clear, and let's hope we get to see this rocket launch today. I'm really hoping to see this thing, And yeah, we'll see what happens today. How does the apparent angle changes with the distance? Um, okay. What, I mean, I didn't understand your question. The apparent angle as in reference to what? The rocket viewing, or what else? If you can be a bit more specific, I'll be able to answer this. See, the thing is, right now everything is looking good, right? Everything is looking good. The skies are clear, the winds are also not very high, but still, NASA says we are 60% in favorable weather conditions. So still 40% is in the violation only. We'll have to see how the things progress. Let's hope the weather improves as we go near the launch. Some Scott asked, where am I based? Okay, so actually I am based, you know, from the earth itself. And I want to explore Mars. Yes, when it comes to space exploration, I firmly believe that space is one of those sector where where you can unite people. It is all about unity, harmony, peace, and all those things. So yes, and where we can actually unite as a human species, and keeping all those bad things behind, the racism, casteism, and all those things, and look ourselves as a human species and see how fragile our planet is. This is what I'm talking about, is actually astronauts experience in space. This is what they experience when they go out in the space and look down to the earth. They experience this phenomena in which they think how fragile our species is, how fragile our mother earth is, and we should protect it. So that is the case. At least I'm from the earth. Exactly. Many people are here from um, Mercury, Venus, and way back to the Jupiter, Ganymede, Io, and all those things, right? Marcus, yes, you are right. Exactly. Exactly, Kitty Straff. We all are from the earth, and once we become a spacefaring civilization, actually, once we are in the space and colonize the solar system as we know right now, then we'll actually, get to unite as a planet. At least right now we are, sad to say, but we are, united, partly as in from which country we are from. So the distinction is the country, looking in the broad
And
manner.
welcome to the third
But
attempt of
yeah,
the launch of
once
a
we become a
simulcast
spacefaring
center
civilization, the distinction will be the planet from where we come from.
Launch window tonight is 8:04 to 8:44 p.m.
We'll get some updates here, so listen in carefully, guys, and I'll try to answer your questions also. Right now, guys, I don't know why, but the stream has been shadow banned by YouTube. I don't get to have many viewers here, so if you can share this stream, it would be very beneficial for all of us.
Everything is ready to go on that side. We have been, of course, watching the weather. The clouds, as you can see in the picture, are starting to clear out, and so we're getting really nice blue skies here. You can see the sun and shadows there on the island. We're also getting reports of clear skies in Bermuda, which are needed. At both sites, we do have camera stations on the ground that will be looking at the vapor releases that will occur as part of this launch. We are having concerns again with the upper level winds. They have been not acceptable for launch up to this point, but they have been dropping just a little bit throughout the count. So hopefully as we get closer to the launch window and maybe towards the end of the window, we might have the winds be able to drop. We're also watching the ground winds, which are variable and which is not good for determining the pointing of the rocket.
Okay, so ground winds, although
However, we're still counting for it tonight, and hopefully the winds will come down a little bit and be in our favor, and we'll be able to get the launch off.
let's hope, guys. Fingers are crossed on that front. What shadow band people are saying? Actually, if you search this video, you won't get it on the YouTube search. That's what is happening actually. Recommendation it is coming, but not in the search.
Yeah, we'd like to hold at T-minus 15 once we get there.
Copy. Programmer TD. Programmer, go ahead. We're going to hold at 15. Copy that.
Ah, man. Again, the same thing is happening.
Okay, so there you heard. We're going to hold at T-minus 15 minutes in the count as we evaluate the winds and continue to take measurements. The way we do that is we fly balloons, and then we track those balloons and get data on the wind speed of the balloons. That tells us, of course, the speed and direction of the winds, and then that goes into a program, and that tells us the whether or not we can safely launch the rocket.
Maybe that's the case, but we'll, in my search list, I can't find my own stream, so that's why I was worried about it. I can see the drop in the view count also.
Black Brant 12. This particular vehicle is 71.5 feet tall, so it is our largest of the sounding rockets that we have in NASA's fleet.
Sure.
First stage is a Talos. Second stage is a Terrier. Third stage is a Black Brant motor, and the fourth stage is what we call the NECA motor. Sounding rockets are extremely fast vehicles. To give you an idea, the first stage Talos will ignite.
TD, RSO, channel 1.
Go for TD.
Yes, sir. Can you meet me on range 915, please?
1-5.
Okay. Cool. So,
So the first stage Talos.
PM and SRPO MM channel 5 for a status update.
So the first stage Talos will ignite and burn for only 6.4 seconds. At that point, at the burnout, it is at only a mile altitude, but it's flying 1,051 miles an hour already at that point.
wow.
Second stage Terrier then ignites at 25 seconds after launch. It burns out at only 31.2 seconds. So again, it's a 6-second burn. At that time, that's at 4.5 mile altitude, flying at 1,651 miles an hour. Third stage Black Brant ignites at 35 seconds, burns out at 62.5, so it's a little bit longer burning, almost 30 seconds. That time burnout, it's at 27 miles altitude, and it's flying fairly quickly there at 4,724 miles an hour.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much,
And the fourth
Arejala,
stage
for that
NECA
$3.
burns, ignites at 95 seconds in the flight, burns out at 115 seconds, and at 60 miles altitude. At that point, it is flying at 7,000 miles an hour.
7,000 miles an hour. Okay. So, if you want to achieve an orbit, you actually want to have around 17,500 miles per hour. That's what the speed
The
you want to
rocket will
have.
be carrying the KiNETic payload to an apogee or peak altitude of about 302 miles. As part of this project, it will have 2 barium vapor releases. Those will occur 9 to 10 minutes after launch in between 217 and 249 miles altitude. At that point, the vapor releases will be 540, 560 miles downrange from Wallops.
Yeah, I was right. Around 500 to 600 kilometers. Okay, that's the vapor release altitude. Oh, sorry, the downrange distance. So yes, Scott says, when you stream the SpaceX test, which feed do you stream? The official SpaceX, lab path, or whatever? Okay, so before the, actually I tend to stream the official SpaceX stream when it comes, but I start my live stream before that only. So at that point of time I use
Sounding rockets are unguided rockets.
Okay, first of all, listen to
so
him.
It's a solid fuel that we use, and they are spin stabilized, which means they fly similar to an arrow, and that the fins have a little cant to them, so they're not perpendicular exactly to the motor itself. And so that as the rocket flies, as it launches and flies, the rocket spins, which will help stabilize the rocket. In addition, for these large vehicles like this one, the Black Brant 12, we also have spin motors. They are located at the top of the first stage. So as soon as the vehicle clears the launcher, they will fire and spin up the motor very quickly, so the vehicle, so that it stays stabilized during flight.
Sure. And thank you so much, Nate Revit, for that $5. Keep up the good work, he says. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all your funding. It helps the channel to stay alive. And yes, I do stream the SpaceX launches, the Starship launches, as they say. And I don't, I mean, I mostly use the Espadre scam to stream the launch, but whenever the SpaceX is live, I switch over to that. So yeah, that is the case. Okay, so what else do we have here? Do you have any other questions, guys? Oh,
and if you're just joining us, we are going to hold it T-minus 15 minutes in the count. Reason is that right now we still have high winds, upper level winds, and also our lower level winds are a little bit of an issue. And so we're continuing to watch that, continuing to send balloons up to get constantly getting measurements of the winds. And hopefully by the time the window gets to the end, we can get this rocket off. Window opens tonight at 8:04 and closes at 8:44. Launch windows, we have until May 16th to be able to launch this rocket.
Okay. And those of you who are just coming to see the launch, let me just share the map for you from where you can actually see this launch. So this is this map, the viewing area. Nothing special about it. This is a very easy map to read, and you can see here that we have this green area in which you can see the liftoff. Obviously, after just 0 seconds after liftoff, you will be able to see, to 0 to 10 seconds you'll be able to see the rocket. Then after 10 seconds you will be able to see from the blue line. Then 30 seconds in the purple, 60 in the yellow, and then 90 in the blue. Those I have overlaid already the states from where you can have a look at it and see what reference you want to have. Clint Davis, donate to this man's hard work. Thank you so much, Clint Davis. Really appreciate it. And we are right now holding at T-minus 15 minutes. And the reason being is the upper level winds as well as the clear skies for them to achieve. And yeah, that is what we are waiting for.
And tonight with this mission is called KiNETics, which is the KiNETic-scale energy and momentum transport experiment. I know it's a lot. Is designed to study a very fundamental problem in space plasma, namely how energy and momentum are transported between different regions of space that are magnetically connected. For example, auroras, which are formed when particles in the Earth's near space environment interact with the atmosphere. According to Peter Delamere, with KiNETics principal investigator from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, the electrons in Earth's space environment and then the solar wind have relatively low energies, yet the aurora is generated by very high energy electrons. So the big question becomes, what is the energy mechanism that is driving this?
Exactly. Actually, they want to understand how these kinetic, as the name suggests, how the kinematics, they want to understand the kinematics of those aurora particles, how they move about in space, how they transfer the energy and all those things.
This is a very simple experiment with that we have known input parameters that will allow us to quantify the flow of energy to the electrons, and it is possible the KiNETics payload will generate auroral emissions on a very small scale, but that is an unknown aspect of this experiment. We'll also have in situ measurements which will measure the energized electrons directly. In addition to the in situ measurements, we'll have specialized cameras that are located in Bermuda and here at Wallops, and also on an aircraft from the NASA Land Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, which is flying just north of Bermuda, and they'll be used to observe the interactions. The KiNETics experiment consists of a single rocket launch carrying 7 separable payloads. Diagnostic instrumentation is carried on the main payload and 4 small sub-payloads, while the barium vapor clouds will be released from 2 additional larger sub-payloads. This allows for a multiple point of view of the disturbances created by the barium releases. The 4 small sub-payloads, also nicknamed Bobs, each about the size of a 2-liter soda bottle, make measurements of the space environment through which the barium vapor-induced disturbance travels. The barium vapor is not harmful to the environment or public health and is expected to form highly visible clouds common to past missions. It is not expected to form clouds common to past missions from Wallops using vapor tracers. The vapor will be released about 9 minutes and 30 seconds to around 10 minutes after launch at about 217 to 249 miles altitude over the Atlantic Ocean, so it's just north of Bermuda. After exposure to sunlight, the vapor clouds quickly ionize and take on a violet color. Immediately after release of the vapor, the spherical clouds are a mixture of green and violet, but that phase only lasts for about 30 seconds when the ionized component of the cloud has diffused away.
So thank you so much, Scott, for that $9.99. He says live with porpoise. Okay. And adjacent to greatness donated $5. I love Mars, he says. Thank you so much for all those fundings, really appreciated. And now Ian Rove Gaming says, hi Rocket Gyan, awesome stream, keep up the brilliant work. And would you be streaming the Chinese Mars lander Tianwen landing on the Mars? Yes, I will be streaming, don't worry about it. And to improve your experience for today's launch, if you are not able to view it in person, or maybe if the cameras are also not able to catch the rocket, I have this for you guys. This is the KSP animations which will actually occur at the same time the rocket will lift off, and all those events you can monitor with the animations going side by side. So hopefully it improves your experience for the stream.
Looking at ground winds that may cause a concern as we go through the window. The window tonight is 8:04, 8:44.
And right now we are on hold, seeing the weather. Again, the upper level winds are a concern, as well as the bit of the sky also. So that is the case. And again, let me just open up that map for you so that you can have a bit of reference from where to see. This is the map here. Green area 0 to 10 seconds after liftoff, 10 to 20 in blue, and all those things, and so on and so forth. And you have the maps here. If you are living like in Florida, you will actually have to see in northeast direction, because the rocket will actually launch from that green area, and it will go in that direction in which Bermuda is. So that's how the things will work. If you are living in Florida, if you are there, you will have to see around 90 to 120 seconds after liftoff, and you will have to look at around in the northeast direction. So that is the case here.
But they're also used for technology development, for instruments that may later fly on satellites, or also for educational programs, which we conduct annually here at Wallops and with the Colorado Space Grant Consortium.
Yes, David, you will be able to see it from the Delaware, because obviously Delaware is actually very near to the launch site. So instantaneously when the rocket lifts off, you should be able to have a view of it.
Last year we were not able to do launches, so this season is very busy. In addition to this Black Brant 12 that we're getting ready, we have a flight next week out of the White Sands, New Mexico, carrying the Eunice payload on a Black Brant 9. And the following week, we have a Terrier improved Malamute scheduled for May 26th here out of Wallops. And again, will be a night launch, will not be quite as tall as the Black Brant 12, and should only be visible to the Mid-Atlantic region.
Oh, wow. So we do have a launch on May 26 also for a sounding rocket. And let me just tell you, May 26 is a very special day for me, because guess what? May 26 is my happy birthday. So I will be very happy to stream a launch on my birthday. So let's hope that we'll be able to have a launch on that day. There we don't have a scrub.
If we do get the launch off tonight and you're able to see the launch of the green clouds, let us know by sending us a message either on Facebook or Twitter. If you get those photos, please send them our way. We always like to see our projections on visibility versus the actual what people are able to see. Of course, tonight there's a lot of clouds on the eastern United States, so not everybody will have the opportunities to see everything, but hopefully we'll get some clear skies, so some of us will be able to see it.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicholas, for that $1, and David Stryker for 149. Really appreciate your help. And okay, so I think William Lane has birthday today. Happy birthday, William Lane. And hopefully let's hope that you get to see the launch today on your birthday. Right now we are on a hold, so let's see what we get today. And you can tweet us, guys. My Twitter handle is at RocketGyan. You can follow me and actually tweet me actually saying how you are seeing the launch, where you are from, and we'll have an interaction soon. And obviously you can also follow me on Twitter, if I can just slide that here. You can follow me on Twitter, because there I actually share much of the space related news stuff and all those geeky things which makes people excited. So you can follow me on Twitter. The handle is at RocketGyan. The link is down in the description too. So right now we are on hold. Everything is looking good from the rocket front, and the window actually lasts till 8:40 p.m. So 8:44 EDT, so minus 15 minutes from that time we will be able to see how things will progress. David Stryker says, can I get a hoo yeah from Hancock MD? I don't know what Hancock MD is, but Yahoo! Yeah, you already got it. Thank you so much for that, Dono man. That's a skinny rocket. Obviously, it is. So the status to right now is that we are on a hold at T minus 15 minutes, monitoring the upper level winds as well as the clear skies. Obviously, the ground level winds are in control. They are not very gusty today, but they are variable. And what they do mean by variable is that the flow of the winds are not in the favor of the rocket, in which direction the rocket has to go. So although less, but since they are not in favor of the rocket, they have to monitor that also. Right now you are seeing the black Brant 12 rocket on your screen. It's a 4-stage rocket. The first stage is that white stage, the the at the bottom part of this rocket. That's the Telos motor, and all these 4 stages runs on solid rocket fuel as its propellant, and I mean HTPB to be precise, industry standard. And then we have this Terrier rocket motor for the second stage, again that white part uh, below that black one, and then the long black one with the fins is the black Brent 5C motor, and then finally we have the Nika motor on the top. This is the biggest sounding rocket which NASA is operating currently, and yeah.
And if you're just joining us, we're currently at T minus 15 minutes and holding for the launch of the Block Brant 12 rocket from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility here in Virginia. Reason for the hold is upper level winds. Same issue we've had the last 2 nights, that they are going to exceed our safety criteria. So we would not be able to have a safe launch if we were to launch the rocket with the winds the way they are. And then we're also looking at ground level winds that seem to be variable and also are of a concern. However, we do have the window does go until 8:44 tonight, so we do still have some time, and they are constantly launching weather balloons or small balloons that allow us to measure the winds or track the balloons and measure the winds. That way, that goes into a computer that we have program, and that tells us the whether or not it will be safe to launch the rocket.
David Strikers says whoop whoop. That's the sound of the what? Okay. Thanks for Dono man, and Mark Deaton thanks for that $5. Thanks for the great commentary. Thanks for appreciating and coming in and okay, coming in and watching this stream with me. Thanks for that. It's 8:44 is the window, but just remember.
Yeah, do you have a status check with the vacates clearance and FAA contacts?
Okay.
Check that item out. Done.
Thank you, sir. Check 151.
Okay. So right now the status is the same. I mean, first of all, if by any chance the rocket lifts off today or at any day, do remember, if you are keen to watch it from your locations, please just go at around T minus 2 minutes before the liftoff, so that you can have a look at the sky, as well as keep in account the stream delay also which we get from these launches. So look into the sky at from T minus 2 minutes or so, and then you'll be able to see what is going on there. We are waiting in for the weather to clear. and everything is looking good right now. Upper level winds are a concern, and yeah. Okay. Colby says they launched Starship when it was way more cloudy than this. Actually, Starship can handle strong winds and all those things because it is a bulky rocket, fatter rocket, as they say. So it can handle. And obviously, the thing with the upper level wind, see, this rocket has one problem, and that is it does not have active TVC. TVC is nothing but thrust vector control. This is a technical term. If I want to simplify it, that simply means that the engine does not have gimbal. Engine is not able to control the orientation of the rocket. That's what TVC means. So since it does not have that, the gimbaling of the engines to control the orientation of the rocket, it can't correct its trajectory if it goes off trajectory somehow. So because of that, the weather actually becomes a bit more concern rather than the other those rockets which have the active TVC in it, because you can actually, if there is some issue with the winds or something like that, or maybe winds changes the direction, changes the trajectory, the engines can correct it. But no, not here. They don't have the correction ability for this rocket. So that's why we have strong parameters for weather, and that's why we tend to have all these scrubs day by day. So people's again looking in, as in what direction do they have to look in for. So this is the map here. If you are living in where is it? Okay, so if you are living in, suppose in North Carolina, you will have to watch in the direction around northeast. Yes, the northeast direction, and northeast followed by looking in the east direction, because the rocket will be following that trajectory. I mean, what I'm trying to say, the rocket will be launching from this here, and it will follow this trajectory. It will go here. It will go
we're
like
still
this.
holding at T-minus 15 minutes in the count for the Black Brant 12 launch. Concern this evening is the upper level winds, and they were slowly going down, and so we're seeing if we're going to be able to make it in time to get at least the end of the window. It runs till 8:44 p.m.
Okay, as they say, we are.
The rockets are unguided rockets, so they're very wind sensitive. And just like shooting an arrow at a target, we depend on the winds and look at the winds in order to hit that target in space that we need to get to release, in this case, the vapors and all the subpayloads to do the measurements.
I know we need some mods here, right?
PM on 1.
Go ahead.
Hey, the word from the network, guys, is that the issue is a connection between us and Greenbelt.
Copy.
Okay, so there is some issue with the communication, I think. Communication is I don't think
TDR, so channel 1.
Go for TD.
Yes, can I have you, SRPO, MM, and PM meet me on 5, please?
Going to 5.
And that was the range safety officer calling for the test director, project manager for the range, and also Santa Rockets, basically doing a powwow, getting the latest updates on the winds. So we should have an answer here soon as to whether or not we'll be able to continue.
right now, guys, it is not scrubbed. It's just the communication problem which they are having, their personals. So we'll have to wait and see what we if we have a launch today or not. I'm making someone mod here. Please, whosoever becomes a mod, please try to, you know, moderate the chat, because I can see we need more mods here. Although the existing mods are doing a great job, but yeah. Okay, it is not scrubbed yet. We are right now um, into the countdown. We are having some issues with the communication with the team, which are actually monitoring the weather balloons. So we'll have to see how that figures out and spans out. Matthew says, Bitcoin to the moon. Thanks for that 199. And right now, Dodge is going to the moon, by the way, next year. Already the payment has been done in Dodge currency. And that's why you actually, you know, experienced a downward trend in the value of the Dodge, because they actually had to give so many coins to the SpaceX. Dodge is going to the moon. That's that's confirmed, but we'll have to see if Bitcoin is going also or not. When Swanton says, "Can you say hi to Rose? She is watching here in Virginia and looking forward to the launch." Hi, Rose. How are you? And I hope you get to see the launch. And yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity if you witness a launch, because the sound it makes, the vibration you feel when the rocket is launching, and the sight which you get to see. Oh man, that is seriously very emotional and very beautiful to see. Thank you so much, Leonard, for that 499. Appreciate it. Thanks, Patrick, for 199. Okay, just a sec. Okay, Scott, you are the mod here right now. Please manage the chat. Help me manage the chat here. Appreciate it. Okay, so the launch extends till 8:44, which means a 40-minute launch window, and we are holding at T minus 15 minutes. That means we have around 29 minutes from the liftoff time in the window, because we also have to take into account the T minus 15 hold time. So, yep, that is the case here. 5:34, 44, 54. So they are actually monitoring the winds here right now. We do have, around 9 minutes left in the window. We'll see what actually happens now. Slow mode, actually, yes. Thank you so much for all the donos. I really, really, really appreciate it. Slow mode is on. Thank you. Okay. I'll have that slow mode on somehow. They are monitoring the winds right now. We'll have to see how the things actually span out. Just a sec. Give me some time so that I can turn on the slow mode here. Just a sec. Okay, we are good on this front. Where are the, how do I turn it on? Done. Finally. Okay. Let me see if we have any updates if from the chat, from the Twitter handle, as they say. Just a sec. Thank you so much for all the donors. Can I be a co-commentator? I very much enjoy your live stream, Nicole says. I
Again,
would.
we are holding at T-minus 15 minutes for the launch of the Black Brant 12 rocket from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. Upper level winds are still a concern, and they're continuing to fly balloons to get data on those winds to determine whether or not it will be safe to conduct the launch. We will need to pick up the count by 8:29 in order to meet the window.
And thank you so much, Alpha
Yes,
Kilo
sir. Have
Bravo.
a status update.
Okay, status update.
Copy. Going to 5. SRPO, PM, MM, channel 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think we can wait for the status update, but thank you so much, Alpha Kilo 3 Bravo, for that $3. Thank you so much, Brad, for that $5, and Nico Matthew for $1.99. Right now we'll see what do we have in store for us. We are around, we actually have how much time left right now? Thank you so much, Brenda, for that $3. Appreciate it. Oh man.
At all stations, TD. Unfortunately, the winds are not going to cooperate with us tonight, so we're going to push 20. We're going to scrub for the night and push for tomorrow. Thanks for your support. Check with your leaders for report time tomorrow. I assume it'll be the same.
Come on, man. Come on.
So there you have it. The winds got us, upper level winds got us again for the third night in a row. They were exceeding limits that allow us to do a safe launch with the Black Brant 12. So we will reset everything and come back again tomorrow night with a launch time of 8:05 with the window that runs till 8:45. We will have a weather brief in the morning to take a look at the weather here at Wallops and also in Bermuda and also where the aircraft is flying. And so watch the Wallops Facebook and Twitter sites
Oh man.
for updates probably in the latter part of tomorrow afternoon.
First of all, guys, F's in the chat. Please, F's in the chat. F's in the chat.
Right now we're still headed for another launch attempt tomorrow night at 8:05. Thanks for tuning in and hanging with us. And this is part of the rocket business. We want to make sure that we do these flights safe. So thanks for joining us, and hopefully you can come back tomorrow night.
Wow, man. Thank you so much, Doug, for that $10. And David says finger crossed, but we didn't see the launch. Thank you so much, Holly Rosing, for that $4.99. But right now I've seen the chat and we can see the launcher being horizontal right now. And again, man, again I have to wake up tomorrow at 3 a.m. to stream the launch. This has been my schedule for last 3 days, and I've been sleeping like hardly like 1 hour. Today though I just didn't sleep at all. So let's hope the things clears up today, soon tomorrow, sorry, and we'll have the launch. Let's see what do we have in store for us. Right now, just don't go away. We'll have some chatting. We'll have some questions answered, and the best part for me is before the launch and after the launch. Obviously, during the launch is there, but before the launch and after the launch is the time when I can engage with my audience. I can engage with you all and answer your questions. I like that a lot. So Daniel says, don't be discouraged. You are doing a great job. Thank you for the live stream of such a rocket launch. Okay, that rhymed. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that $5. I really appreciate it. And right now, we can actually see the rocket being horizontal, which is how they will secure the launcher again. And now, what time tomorrow? Okay, so what time is it tomorrow? Same time tomorrow, a minute later though. At 8:05 EDT is the liftoff time. Again, the 40-minute launch window is still there. We'll have to see how the things span out there. Rajesh Singh says, can you stream the rocket coming from Bennu? I actually had to stream that launch also, but the thing was that I had to make a call whether to stream this one or the Bennu one. So I had to make a call and I picked up this because I'll get another chance to stream the Bennu launch when it returns, when it actually re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. So if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, there was one mission called as OSIRIS-REx, which actually went to the asteroid Bennu, did a touchdown on its surface, collected the particles of that asteroid, which is around millions and millions kilometers away, stored it properly, and then now it is today it actually fired up its engines and now it is returning home. So finally we will be getting some real asteroid samples from the space to analyze and to study it. Wow, man, that would be so cool to see. Wait a sec, let's just open the Twitter feed right now and see what all you have tweeted. We do have something. If you guys interested in the way things work with me, if you are interested, if you are a space geek, you can actually follow me on Twitter. The handle is this one. Where is it? I'll read all the tweets. The handle is at RocketGyan. You can follow me on Twitter. I usually tweet more about the space updates, the memes, sometimes the information, like one of this. I created this one for the Mother's Day. The Ingenuity helicopter, the Percy here. Ingenuity helicopter wishing his mother happy Mother's Day, Mama, and obviously Percy is saying, conquer the skies, my child. Mother's Day from the Mars. Okay, so I tend to tweet these kind of stuffs. You can see here some, you will find many of the things, so you can follow me on Twitter here. And right now June says attempting to view the launch from C&D Canal in northern Delaware. Oh man, June, you are actually very close to the launch site. If you I'm okay, so people who are actually very close to the launch site, I would very much suggest that you please, whenever it happens, go outside and try to view the launch, no matter how many attempts it takes, but it will be a very good experience which you will experience. So yeah, that's the case here. Peter says, what is the flight path from Wallops for tonight's launch? We'll discuss. I live in England and want to know if I should look south or southeast. You won't be able to see it from the England, Peter. So hard luck in that case. And Agi Jia says, going to be watching from Norristown. I'll try to get a video for you. Please. Yes. Whosoever is, watching it and from, personally, please film a video and share it with us. Hopefully we'll see it together. Hold on again. Is the rocket recoverable? Lisa says, no, with the rocket is not recoverable. It's an expendable rocket. Every stage just falls down into the ocean. So Sorry, mate. Space, okay. I don't know Spanish, so that is the case. Yeah. Damn, winds, Chris says. Yes, the winds are a culprit here. Okay. So NASA Wallops has tweeted this here. We are disappointed too. A crying astronaut here on the GIF. Launch is okay. I must update this thing. Just a sec. The launch is right now scrubbed, and yes, let's hope everything the at least the launcher is secured, and always scrubs are better than ruds, so that is the case today. I actually wanted you to see one more thing. Guys, follow him if you are a space geek, if you are a space nerd or rocket science, interested in rocket science and all those things. Follow him, Mr. Tori Bruno. He's a CEO of ULA, the United Launch Alliance. Their rocket is Delta IV Heavy Atlas 5. And, you can literally just tweet him out and he answers everyone. So as he says, is it common for a launch provider to ensure their own payload? So he answered, government payloads are self-insured by the taxpayers. Commercial payloads are insured by the operator, by the insurance market. Atlas has very low rates. By the way, okay, the launch providers may choose to insure various liabilities that they experience based on the individual business case. Okay, cool. And talking about the next rocket launch, this is the next rocket launch coming up. This is the Electron rocket, which will be launching from the New Zealand. The date will be 15th of May, and this will be a special launch because, guys, they will be testing this rocket for reusability for the second time. Whenever you see reddish, these reddish rings on the rocket, on the Electron rocket specifically, that simply means they are going in for a recovery attempt. So that launch will be very interesting to see, and I'll be streaming that also, so be with me for that right now. Okay, they are still streaming, and it is slowly becoming horizontal. Cool. Thanks, Oscar. Okay, what's the difference between a scrubbed and the cancelled? Okay, scrubbed means, Victor, that's a good question actually. Scrubbed actually simply means that they are scrubbed for today, which means they are not launching today, but they will be launching on the some other day. Cancelled means they are not launching the rocket at all. There is some serious problem with the rocket or the payload, and they are not launching at all. I mean, uh, cancellation of the rocket launch has not yet happened when the rocket is on the launch pad. Obviously, the cancellation can happen when the rocket is actually in the VAB. It's not even constructed yet, because it's $1 million industry. We know that the rockets costs around $200 million or 50, depends on the rocket, but still rockets are costly, and you don't want them any mission to be cancelled as such when the rocket is on the pad. It will be a huge loss for the organization. So that's the difference here. Yes, this was the third time Shannon Smith. And right now, guys, if you have any other questions, you can surely ask me. And right now, we are just hanging out, discussing some space stuff, some rocket science, and all those things. So, yeah. Yes, Shannon Smith. Actually, this was the third time they were launching, and now they are scrubbed for the third time. So that is the case. Yeah. Yes. we have a scrub for today. Why was it cancelled? The scrub happened because of the upper level winds, and again I'm repeating this thing again, that the upper level winds are a concern for this sounding rocket because it does not have active guidance during its ascent, mainly because it does not have the TVCs for the motors. So that is the case here. Let me just see if what we have. Okay, we'll explore the Twitter only. You can. This makes me want to get a refund. Okay. Watching you and watch the rocket, Justin Gerhardt says. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Can I see any launches from Los Angeles? Aside from ones that launch at Wedenbang Air Force. See, you can see, obviously you mentioned the rocket launch which you can see the Vandenberg Air Force, but Los Angeles, I don't know whether you'll be able to see this launch at all because it is a bit in the northern direction, but we'll have to see how things actually pans out. Okay, this is you guys, this is what we were talking about today, right? And International Space Station official Twitter handle has tweeted this beautiful photo of the auroras taken from the International Space Station itself. So yeah, obviously I don't think so that was the phenomena observed today, but this is the photo which have been taken from ISS. So they have tweeted this beautiful aurora image here, and if you get an opportunity to see these auroras in person, whenever that happens, do watch it. The skies are so beautiful, the view is so mesmerizing. I mean, you will love it and you won't regret traveling to that location also, whether it be cold or icy cold or whatever. What else do we have? I actually also wanted to discuss one more thing, which I am not discussing right now. I actually am not um, remembering what I was supposed to discuss. Okay, we have one more update here from the Virgin Orbit. Is aiming to launch their next flight, Tubular Bells Part 1 in June from California. Okay, so we have one rocket launch from California, although it is not a rocket launch as such, but yep. While also securing an airport in Brazil for the future missions. Okay, that is cool. So this Virgin Orbit company is very unique in launching satellites to space because they, what they do is they actually use this aircraft, this airplane which you can see in this image. They literally use this airplane as the first stage of the rocket. So what they do is they, you know, this hang the actual rocket with the second stage, with two stage rocket actually, on one of its wing. Then the aircraft goes up to its intended altitude, releases the rocket, and then the rocket goes up to the space. So this is a very interesting technique to launch the satellites to space, uh, because of this you can actually achieve theoretically any inclination that you want to achieve from a certain point, because it's not like uh, in rockets where you have to drop the stages. This is the first stage which is not dropping, so you can theoretically achieve any inclination, because in planes can fly in any direction, and then the rocket can obviously take up the action afterwards. So that is the case here. Monkey, okay, I will make a mod. I'll make him the mod, but where is he? guys, just if you have any other questions, you can surely ask me. Right now I am very tired as such because of oh, wait a sec, were you seeing it like this? No, it was not supposed to be like this. On. Yeah, here we go. Am I right? Construction site yet. Okay, why not use plane that can fly higher altitude for the first stage? Douglas, see, first of all, this is a commercial plane which they have modified to use as a first stage of for the satellite launching. They can very well use the higher altitude planes, and actually jet engines does not, the commercial jet engines does not work very well in the higher altitudes. If you want to go up into the higher altitudes, you have to have sophisticated engines, and those engines are actually named as ramjet or scramjet engines, which actually works in higher altitude. What they, I mean, how they work is they actually collect all the oxygen which they can from the atmosphere. They have a specific cycle and the engine design which actually helps them to collect those oxygen, little bit of oxygen also from the utilizing the speed at which it is going, those ramjet scramjet engines. And yeah, those engines can actually fly right up to the space. I mean, right now, if if we have taken up this topic only, ISRO is working on this concept. ISRO is actually making one TSTO, which is a two-stage two orbit. ISRO is, if you don't know, is the Indian Space Research Organization, in which the first stage will be reusable, obviously, uh, like the Falcon 9 style, and the second stage will be a space plane, but will run on scramjet technology, ramjet technology, as well as the rocket engine. So it will get all those engines. There will be one engine of hopefully which will actually transition from all these states. First it will become scramjet, then ramjet, and then finally a rocket engine. So ISRO is working on this technology, and if you are fan of KSP, you know what I'm talking about. The Rapier engine of KSP, they can work in any altitude as well as in the space also. So yeah. Will the cameras follow the rocket when it is launched? Yes, it does follow the rocket when it is launched. Okay, what else do we have in here? Can you look at your Twitter notifications? Yes, for surely, no worries with that. Right now we don't have the Twitter notification as such, but okay. Do we have any other update? No. And guys, I'm right now working on a Discord server also, so that we can all people can hang out there and discuss some space stuff, and we don't even have to go to Twitter only for all those things. So we'll have to see all those things. Yeah. So finally okay, not this one. Yeah, here. Okay, finally the launch was scrubbed for today, and the reason for today again was the upper level winds and the clear skies. As you can see from the GIF, they are also not very happy with the scrub, but tomorrow again they have the launch window. They have this launch window till May 16, so they have to launch till by May 16, I suppose. I don't know after that how the launch windows will come, but by May 16 they have this launch window, and the time for tomorrow's launch will be the same at around 8:05 EDT. um, PM, 8:05 PM EDT. Yeah. Ian Rove Gaming says it is very interesting. I thought that too. Maybe they are trying to launch SN15 again. Time will tell. Can't wait to see the next launch. See, right now I can surely bet at least for the next launch, SN16 will be launching, not the SN15. They have recovered their Starship prototype for the first time, and now they have this huge amount of data in front of them as an actual hardware. They have to do a lot of study on it, lot of research on it, and they, how the Raptor engines perform, what are the wear and tear of the Raptor engines, what are the wear and tear of the heat shields, what is the status of the landing legs, what is the status of the aft fins which it has. So they have some work to do there. So maybe SN15 can fly again after some time, but not before SN16. SN16 will surely fly first, then maybe after some launches we can expect SN15 also to fly. But considering that we had a very successful and nominal flight for SN15, we can very well expect some flight profile changes for SN16. Maybe the SN16 can go a bit higher in the altitude, or maybe they can, last time what they did was they actually landed on two engines. Previously they suggested that they will be landing on three engines, maybe on one engines, and then on two engines. But right now they are landing on two engines, but the safest bet is to land on one engine. And if anything goes wrong with the one engine, then they can start up all the other engines which are there. So maybe they can look forward to that also. The SN15 was the the newest prototype, the block third in their Starship development, in which they actually implemented all of the things which they have learned from the SN8 to SN11 flights, and their learning was successful also. We can say that SN15 was very successful. So that is the thing here. Yes, Ricky, it is scrubbed for today right now. And better safe than sorry, exactly. It is, scrubs are always better than reds. So that is the case here. Oscar says thank you so much, brilliant coverage. I hope, guys, I actually try to incorporate some new stuff as we as this means, if you join for the before the actual liftoff occurs, during just the starting of the stream, what I do, I explain the rocket, I explain the payload, what the experiment is going on, and all those things, and it is becoming a bit repetitive now. So I try to incorporate some new things as I did for today, those videos and some pictures. But let's see what I can do for tomorrow. Let's see. We'll have to watch, but uh, I'll have to sleep now. I'm feeling really tired right now. Woke up at 3. I actually slept at around 2:15 or so. I was doing these coverage settings and all those. I was managing all those things, and then I slept. It took me around 2 a.m. in the morning, and then I slept, and then 3 a.m. I have to wake up again. Love what you are doing here, and if you want more help, my name is same on the every platform. Would love to talk to potential and such, but signing off soon for tonight. Thank you so much for joining in. And wait a sec. Is okay, here you go. One more moderator added as suggested by Elza. Actually, the thing, if you want to become a mod, is nothing as such. You just have to be active on the chat. You have to just um, join every live stream, active on the chat, and interact with the people, interact with the with the people and with me also. So I can see you that you are actually interested in all those stuff. So that's how you can become a mod on this channel at least. Yes, I'm trying my best to stream these launches, and pardon me for my English. Sometimes it becomes a bit hazy in the morning when I am little bit, uh, tired and not fully awake. So my also this English is my second language, so I'm not very fluent on it, but improving on that front also. So yeah. So I think we can end the stream now. If you don't have any other questions, we can very well end the stream. Okay, what's going on? Jackie says nothing. Just hanging out with our mates here, our Space Tubers fam here. All of those people just joining in the chat and listening to whatever I'm saying. So yeah. Thank you so much, Elsa. But I'm in this business where I have to have some fluent speaking skills. So working on it. Hopefully we'll get something out of me if I at least get a sleep and not be tired. My efficiency increases by a lot. Okay, still waiting. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Has the launch been scrubbed? Yes, the launch has been scrubbed until tomorrow. We'll have the same window, 8:05 EDT PM, 8:05 PM EDT tomorrow, and we'll see what we can have tomorrow. Do join in for the launch here. I'll be streaming it again. And right now, we, this. Why am I not going? Because I love interacting with you all, guys. And although I am tired and my body is demanding sleep right now, but my heart is not willing me to asking me to go. I want to interact with you guys. So yeah, but I think now is the time when I should sign off. Any other you can follow. Okay guys, if you love our streams, love my work, you can become a Patreon here. Let me just have the Patreon channel up for you. Just a sec. It page and there you go. Okay, this is the Patreon page which we have created, guys. You can surely check out and support me in my endeavors if you want. These are the membership levels and perks. You will get KSP craft files. If you know what my most of the streams where we don't get a good coverage, the camera or good coverage at all, I tend to improve the experience by making the KSP animations go side by side. So you will get those here, and yeah, that's it. You can check that out, and if you feel like, you can obviously become a Patreon. It really helps this channel to stay alive. Okay, very well. Any other updates? Nothing as such. Sure then. Okay, I must go to sleep. Thank you so much for your concern, but uh we this space sector, this space, this is my passion. The rocket science, space, and space technology, this is my passion. I actually want to see humanity progress, and humanity, in my lifetime, I want to see humanity colonize the whole solar system. I know that is a very futuristic thought right now, but the thing is that we have these technologies and all those things which are needed to stay on another planet. The only thing which we are lacking is the rocket, the propulsion technology and the rocket. Once we have that also, like for Expanse, they were able to colonize the solar system, if you know Expanse web series, with the Epstein drive. So some sort of that propulsion system, we are just waiting for that to come out, because the chemical can we are working on Starship and all those things. They are good for initial purposes, but not very good for long duration missions. And when you want to go further out in the solar system, like into the Neptune, the Saturn and all those things, you need a reliable propulsion system that can actually provide a significant amount of delta V. We are just waiting for that propulsion system to develop. Once we have that, the systems are in place, and we will be able to colonize the solar system. And space is one of those sectors, I must say, where humanity is united as one species. Humanity is actually united as one species. We realize our importance as a species. And whatever development we get in space sector from any country, whether it be from China, whether it from India, whether it from US or any country, whatever development we get in space sector, that eventually benefits the humanity. So whenever we have some launch from the countries like China, I know people tend to start political debates on it, but I would like to say that there are also scientists and engineers doing that rocket launch. In US also, scientists and engineers are there, and these scientists and engineers have this one goal only: to make their hardware perfect and to achieve what what they're said to achieve. That's it. They're scientist, engineer, and they don't indulge themselves in political debates also. So that's why they tend to share the knowledge also, whatever information. See, the Chinese space station just launched last week or so, in last week or so. And uh, there are 2 space stations in orbit right now. We should be very happy about it, because it is not like ISS is getting any competition from Chinese space station. It is like ISS can now have a breather in it. Does not have to be the sole space station in the orbit in which everything has to be done. And ISS is very old right now. The efficiency is decreasing by the passing years. So we need something to come up. So Chinese space station is there, and collaboration is a thing which I solely believe in space sector. So that is the thing. Exactly. So okay. This is a very important point, Douglas. Yes, exactly. We are all one species and should explore the space united, because whenever if something is hurling us towards us right now, whether it be an asteroid or some sort of a proto molecule, as some type of alien species also, if we have not yet discovered them. But whatever, if there is a danger incoming, we should be ready for it and fight them, or face them at least, as a united species, and not as a country itself, as a united human species. Then only we can ensure we can save the humanity, at least something bad happens. So yeah, excited for the lunar gateway, Elsa says. Yes. Also there is one okay, I'll talk about it in some other stream, but right now there are some good amount of missions planned to the lunar moon's south pole, at least. First of all, the Russians are going in this year only, in October this year, with the Luna 25 mission, which will be very interesting to see. So we better unite before we run into Klingons. Exactly. Will Earth born humans fight against Mars born humans? No. That's that can happen, you know. Humans have this, you know, this territorial kind of a thing, that if we belong to some if we are born at least from some state, or at least from some state, we tend to, you know, be proud of it. That's a human nature, we can't say anything about it. But if so, hence same will be applied in the planetary system also. If someone um has, you know, born on Mars, they will prefer Mars, you know, Mars will be first for them. And someone born on Earth will be first for them. So that is a thing which will happen. But we'll see some different outlook. Expanse has very beautiful, I mean, you need to watch Expanse if you haven't watched right now. Till now, Expanse has this very beautiful visuals, okay, sci-fi, scientifics, theory and all those things, but they are actually deep into what can happen if we are a spacefaring civilization, as in how Martians will develop Mars, how people on Earth will become at that time, because the Martians will actually have a united goal to turn it into the second Earth, and people there will be more disciplined, people there will be more organized and united for one goal. That won't be the case for the Earth. So these kind of things will happen if you know, we are there, people are there on the Mars, and they are born on the Mars and permanently staying there. So these things will happen. Yeah, so today's launch was scrubbed. Okay, now we can you know, end this stream now. It's been a lot of time. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but Gal says, "Oh, I'm honored. You didn't have to give me a wrench. I love talking to people and love the channel. Great job, well done. Thank you so much." Uh, and now I can have a good night's sleep. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please, guys, do join me again tomorrow for the same time. I'll be streaming the launch. Do join me again for tomorrow. And yeah, now we can wrap things up. And I can go to sleep. And you can enjoy the day or night or whatever you have left right now. So until then, this is Priyanshu Rohila. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye-bye.